Fusion energy will be safe, clean, and cheap. Fusion energy will give us a much cleaner world. Again, in my opinion, if the regulatory process is fast-tracked, then fusion power plants could be operational in only 3 years. Understand, at this time there is no regulatory path for developing or operating a commercial fusion power plant in the United States. And the first commercial fusion power plants will be required to go through a 25-year regulatory process before they can receive their license for operation in the United States. Keep in mind, a 25-year regulatory process is only a political issue. It is nothing more than a political agenda disguised as something that protects the public. It is not a technical issue. It is not a financial issue. Most definitely, it is not a safety issue. Having a 25-year regulatory process cannot be construed as being anything but a political agenda. Keep in mind, this will only change if you do your part. I need help. This is something you can do. At a minimum, talk with the people you know. If the people in the United States are going to be allowed to benefit from fusion, then a completely new regulatory process for fusion is needed. Fusion is very different from fission. The United States needs an actual safety process that is explicitly designed for new commercial fusion power plants. Why am I telling you this? Why do you need to know this? If we were standing next to an operational fusion power plant right now, it wouldn't make a hill of beans difference without your help. At least in the United States, because somewhere in our government there is a bureaucracy already set up and in place specifically designed to prevent this fusion power plant from ever being licensed. Without your help, then none of this matters. Again, I've done my part. I have solved the mystery of time. I have explained how physics can be unified. I have engineered and patented this new class of fusion power plants. Personally, I cannot do all the politics that is needed. Individuals must get involved in the politics of energy. I estimate I will need 1 million people to know about this physics and then voice their opinion to their politicians. Roughly 20,000 people per state. At this stage, I really need some kind of federal and/or state funding, some kind of government grant to help me get started. Let me summarize my situation. I've solved the mystery of time. There's no doubt about that. I've created a grand unification theory. At this point, it seems obvious. It looks like it works. Inexpensive experiments already prove key parts of the physics. Expensive experiments are needed to better impress the physicists. Using my new physics, I've conceived, engineered, and patented a new class of fusion power plants. Without spending money, all we can do is speculate. All we can do is to only fantasize about the possibilities. Large amounts of money must be spent. Expensive experiments must be done. Some experiments will prove the physics, some experiments will prove the engineering of the fusion power plants. I would like to start my own laboratory and make sure the work gets done. Again, this is not yet at the appropriate stage for me to raise money through investors. This is a clear-cut situation where federal and state funding is appropriate. I've created a specific plan that describes the steps I will take in order to prove the physics and prove the engineering. I would like to start with a $50 million federal grant and a smaller state grant. If I'm right, it will be obvious. If I had enough funding, I could be turning on my first fusion experiments in only a few months. If I had enough funding, I could be turning on demo power plants in about 2 to 3 years. If my designs work, we could have working commercial fusion power plants in 3 years. Now, fusion energy will be safe and inexpensive. Fusion energy can solve almost all of our energy problems. Fusion energy can solve most of our huge environmental problems. Fusion energy can help solve the problems of droughts and famines. Fusion energy will create trillions of dollars in new wealth in the United States, many times more than that worldwide. I need both financial and political support To summarize this summary, if enough people talk about this with their political representatives, then we can have fusion energy very soon. Now, what comes next? I'm extremely good at visualization. I have a vivid imagination. I have vivid dreams. However, I am certain other people will dream up ways of using this new physics that I have not thought of. In my opinion, the development of physics is not winding down. There are topics in life that physics does not explain. For example, life. What is life? That has not been unified with physics. Physically, what is the difference between an animate and inanimate object? I breathe in inanimate oxygen. It becomes part of something animate. Then I breathe out inanimate carbon dioxide. How does something become alive and not alive? Boom, just like that. In my opinion, physics has not even begun to answer questions like this one. Physics cannot explain how I think. What is me? What is my soul? Here on Earth and out in the universe, there are still tremendous mysteries yet to be understood. How life will change because we now understand time? How will our lives change due to a simple definition for time? I cannot predict all the changes. However, I think it's safe to predict there should be vastly more good than bad. In the long run, I believe these ideas will help prevent billions of people from dying preventable, untimely deaths, and will help billions of people to live much longer in a much better fashion. How do we begin this journey? We thank our Mother Sun. We thank her for her life-giving warmth. We thank her for her slow, steady, seductive motion, the motion she makes crossing the sky. While science started by studying her motion, we must realize that her real secret lies in the photons of light she is thankfully sending us. At this point in history, her apparent motion is no longer really important. It is simply seductive, deceptive. We must stop using her seductive motion to measure all other motions. We start our journey by understanding time. In order to reach my goals, I will need your help. I need your support. I need you to talk about this with other people. Please explain time to them. Please explain the other main points of this film, or better yet, get them to watch it. Please talk with your politicians about energy. Tell them about this film. People are always telling me, your physics is really interesting. Well, good luck, but then they don't get involved. They don't help. With respect to the physics, I have already had all of the good luck any one person can expect out of life. I always appreciate the well wishes of others, but please do your part. Do more than just pat me on my back. At a bare minimum, especially if you are concerned about the environment, then please get others to watch this film. I always appreciate when people make a donation through my website. If you have enjoyed this film, and if you can afford it, then please go to my website and make a donation. Consider $5, $10, or $20. Amounts like this add up and help. If you can afford a more significant donation, then that would be great. Whatever you do, thank you. My website is www.grandunification.com. I understand there are many people out there job hunting. Unfortunately, I cannot hire anybody at this time. However, I want to. Eventually, I'll need many people with specific skills that want to be on my team. I already have a top-notch team of patent attorneys. I don't need help there. I will need a business manager, an engineering manager, licensing attorneys, mathematicians, physicists, engineers, technicians, experts on high power switching, web designers, 3D animators, experts on desert farming. The list is huge. I will need help in a wide variety of fields. If I can get enough funding, and if my plans pan out, then I will need to get to know many people, good people, people that I might be interested in working with. If this sounds interesting to you, then please feel free to tell me about yourself. At this time, just send a short email. Include your contact information. Tell me what you'd like to do. Tell me how you envision fitting into these plans. I will add your information to my database. Legally, I can't make any promises here. However, in the coming months, things could get really crazy at any time. I probably have more time to get to know people now than I will have later. Finally, I will do my best to keep up my website, keep it up to date, so everybody can find out what is going on. If you feel I'm not doing a good job, it's probably because of money. Let me apologize ahead of time about answering emails. In the past, I've spent hours responding to just a single email. Due to time, as my volume of emails grows, every email that includes detailed questions with physics equations becomes harder to respond to. A significant number of people send me emails that look like physics tests. It is their way of trying to test my knowledge. However, it is unlikely I'll have enough time in my entire life to be able to answer all of these emails. I would like to thank you for watching this film. Again, thank you. In a way, that's it. That's the end of this film. However, really, this is just the tip of the iceberg. So please watch for other science films I plan on creating. Thank you.